be this week.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna go rub one off. Let me turn off the camera.
We're recording now, but
I'm Bradley. I'm Tyler's penis.
I'm not cutting that out. Hey, welcome to Roundabout Cast, episode 30. We're gonna rapid fire this intro because we weren't recording. I'm your podcast host, Wheeler.
I'm Bradley. I guess I'm Tyler's penis now.
I'm Joe. I've never seen Breaking Bad.
I'm Tyler, special guest, special guy, special night, special boy.
He's also the assistant editor
we have
now.
two pieces of new. Tyler is now assistant editor. Tyler, woo. Next is, so for longer shows that are above 4 episodes, such as One Piece and JoJo's and future shows that we're planning on the podcast apps, they will have their own titles and will not be included with the full Roundabout Cast episodes. Something blame Bradley and Tyler.
We're trying new formats.
Yeah, new formats on the YouTubes.
I wanted to give our long-running series, like, One Piece. I think they kind of deserve special attention because we have a lot of fun doing it. We have a lot of episodes and a lot of people listening to them. So we're trying out having One Piece kind of be its own show.
We don't know what we're going to do with Worm because it's at a weird spot because it's almost done. What else? Do you have any Egyptian falcons, etc., etc.? All right. Today,
all these are jokes you won't understand because it's on forever.
But we will. And that's that's what matters.
We recorded a very entertaining improv session whenever we weren't actually recording.
We were like an hour deep, and then we realized...
No, I would never allow us to get an hour deep. We're talking about Noita 2, or Noita, just Noita, Steven
Noita.
Universe, Dr. Stone, and One Piece, but that'll be its own show.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, what is Noita all about? Something about Dark Souls and rocks?
We're back where we were.
So,
oh god.
Try to remember the first time you ever played a Souls game. It could be Demon, Dark Souls, it could be Bloodborne, anything like that. And you go through that tutorial, and you're like, oh, I've played video games before. When the boss is this hard, I'm just supposed to die. And it's like, no, you're supposed to kill it. And you're like, no, that's not how games go. And it's like, this is how this one is, bitch. You better deal with it. That's not how Noita exactly is, but it's how it makes you feel sometimes. So it's a pixel. It has this pixel-based physics engine, and so every pixel in the game is simulated. So obviously, it has a pixel art style. So it's like all the water, every single pixel of water can be zapped with electricity, or every pixel of flammable gas will catch on fire.
It's something I think people really need to see. At least everyone needs to at least see some gameplay of this, even if you don't think you would ever play it. Just to fully understand what he's talking about with the simulation here. You really gotta see it to believe it.
The coolest thing about the game, so it's a roguelite. So if you like roguelites, I would say it's very it's exactly a roguelike. There's no any progression in the game. Every time you die, you start over from the very beginning with nothing. Everything's unlocked from the get-go, and it has so much exploration in this roguelike game. It's it really takes the challenge of a player who's competent in difficult games and treats them with respect, because it's if you go out of your way to try something really ridiculous, it's oh, I'm gonna turn this entire lake of lava into blood and then swim down it because I have this perk that lets me breathe in liquids forever. It's oh, there's something actually down there. What? This isn't a barrier just to make me die or not progress. And it's oh wow, there's something actually there. It's very much rewarding for exploration.
Yeah, and you end up kind of, because of the procedural element of it and the simulation, you end up getting into some really funny predicaments. I remember you were streaming it through Discord and I was watching you, and you were in this area. I think it was a shop. There's a selection of spells and stuff like that, and you kind of blew it up on your way out, and at some point you ended up getting teleported back in there, and you got to the part where the ceiling was caved in from you blowing it up, and you're like, fuck, how am I gonna dig through this?
Yeah.
How did you dig through it?
There's this little, so that's where we talk about spells. So the game is, you start off with you're this magician guy, like he's got this purple hood on, and you just start off with 2 wands. One of them has this like little magic bolt you fire, and it will deal like 1 pixel of dirt to the environment. So I dug through with that little 1 pixel magic wand. It was terrible, and it took like 30 minutes. But I was like, I'm not starting over. And then the bomb will explode everything, but it wouldn't explode that because I was out of bombs at that point actually. So I soft locked myself. But I wanted to persevere. But we're gonna talk about spells. Holy crap, this game has such a cool modular weapon system.
Ooh.
So you have a series of wands and a series of spells. Each wand has like 7 or 8 different stats on it, and then it has like a number of slots on it. So first it's like your slots, it's like, oh, it can hold 6 spells or something like that, and then it's like, are the spells randomized? So will it take 1 of any 6 of those spells, or is it not randomized and it will cast them in a certain order? You can have so much fun combining and mixing and matching spell combinations. And the way that the spells interact with the environments and everything is just so crazy. Like, I had this one wand that shot a series of bubbles around in a pentagon pattern. But I also had this perk that had homing shots on it. And I was playing with my friend, our good buddy Austin, and he goes, "You should never use the pentagonal pattern." And because obviously it shoots all your spells in a pentagon. You're not aiming or anything. But with the homing shots, it just shot a bunch of orbs out around me, and everything just that was surrounding me vanished instantly, including the environment. It was so much fun. And he's like,
go on.
He's like, it shouldn't be working, but it can work because that's how much variety you can do with this modular weapon system.
I was going to ask, what are you playing this on?
It's on PC.
Is it
it's on Steam? It's on the Humble Store. It's on itch.io and GOG.
Is it on Switch or PlayStation?
It is not on either of those at this time because it's still an early access title. I think it got launched in October or September of last year, and then they had their first update in December.
Okay.
So they're still expanding, still working on content, still very fresh, but wow, is there so much to this game, and it is beyond frustrating because it's like there's so many points in the game where you're like, oh, I'm having this really good run, and then like, oh, this box next to you exploded, and then it flung you into this pool of acid, and then the thunder god shows up and explodes you through the other side of the wall, and it's like, oh, I guess I just got Noita. That's that. I can't do anything about that.
I remember when I was watching you, you had some other, I think it was a spell, and essentially it summoned, whenever you used it, it summoned almost a screen's worth of water, which is terrifying because you were in an enclosed space and it's like, well, fuck, I might drown. Fortunately, it drained out, and it's a really cool like utility spell because I don't think the water itself is going to immediately harm enemies, but you can do so many things like put fires out, extinguish lava. You can create a ton of water and then say you have like maybe an electric spell. You can use all that new water to like propagate the electricity. I thought it was just a really cool, like, I feel like the possibilities are endless.
This seems like a Bradley game. This seems like the game you wanted to make almost.
Yeah, I actually I followed this game whenever it was announced up till the day it released, and I got it the day it released. I played a few matches of it, and then I didn't play anymore. I don't know. I watched Tyler and Austin play it though.
It's fun to play because like me and him for like holiday time, we sat around and like we just took turns playing it. Because when you're sitting there playing it and like having someone watch you, it's really fun to be like, oh, you should take this spell, or no, you should take this spell, and like, so you just sit there and like theory craft magic with your buddy.
Yeah, and the theory crafting is such a cool element to this because to compare it to other, roguelites, like, I think Spelunky is one of the, like, very standard roguelites, or maybe like Rogue Legacy.
Isaac.
Yeah, those games are kind of about learning the game. Spelunky has like a lot of base mechanics, and you get good at those. You learn to anticipate the rooms, anticipate the enemies. Noita, while there is an amount of that, a lot of it is you're going to have to experiment a lot more with these tools you have at your disposal. Like, Spelunky has those tools, but you're not going to get into that theory crafting that Tyler's talking about. Noita is going to have a lot of that, trying to figure out what magics are going to interact well together, or, like, are going to combat this particular enemy very well.
It's a lot of fun. It's $18 on Steam, I know that. But I definitely think it's worth it. Like, the amount of content you're going to get out of it is ridiculous. I think I've already put 50 hours into it, and I've only beaten a run-through once. Like, no matter how overpowered I think I am at certain times, I honestly think getting through the end has a lot of luck to do with it, to be honest. But it's still, I have a lot of fun. I, like, boot up the game at least 3 or 4 times, like, a day, and then I will end extremely frustrated and just be like, alright, I'm never playing this game again. And then I'll forget about it like an hour later, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna play a session of Noita.
That's the roguelite curse, man.
But it's a lot of fun. Go devastate the environment with some magical spells.
There you go.
There you go. Glad to hear you're liking it.